Hey, Brooklyn Squad. Happy Thursday, everybody. We are coming to you. I am coming to you with a missing case. Um, this case got me very frustrated, and it got me frustrated with the police not taking it serious, and plus the movie that I seen. Um, about the police not taking cases like this serious. But let's get into it. My name is Brooklyn, and welcome to Brooklyn Squad, real life drama, real life crimes. And we have a 15 years old baby. And I'm going to say baby because she's still a baby. Her mother might say baby. I know she her mama baby though. We have a 15 years old little girl that has been missing for a year now. Okay. Now, this was DM'd to me. Uh, and when someone DMs me something like this, it's giving me a hint. Can you put this out there? Can you spread awareness? Because it was DM'd to me from Black and Missing. Okay. And they are very well known around. They have a podcast and everything. So shout out to them. A Wisconsin teen's mother is hoping for answers, okay, in connection with her 50 years old daughter, who she hasn't seen in nearly 8 months. Now, at this time, it was nearly 8 months, okay, when the story was first written out. According to the Wisconsin Department of Justice, Joniah Walker was last seen on June 23rd of 2022. We're in November now. It's almost Thanksgiving. Okay? She been missing since June 23rd of 2022. Close to the intersection of East Reservoir Avenue and North Buffalo Street in Milwaukee. She was carrying a backpack when she disappeared and wearing a green shirt and blue jeans. While speaking with the Milwaukee journalist last year, Joniah's mother, Tanisha Howard, said frustrated that the police didn't list her daughter as critical missing. This has reportedly caused few resources to be utilized to finding a baby girl. A critical missing alert is typically reserved for children under a wait for a critical missing alert is typically reserved for children ages 11 and under with physical, mental, conjunctive disability, drug dependency, or other risk issues, the outlet reports. We absolutely view her as being critical missing, as even beside her as being such a young age. She has never done anything like this before, Howard said. The father says was scheduled to pick her father was scheduled to pick her up at 4 p.m. from her home on the day of her disappearance so she could go get her work permit. Okay, get her work permit. When Janira never arrived home, Howard became worried. A Ring camera from a neighbor's home showed Joniah leaving her residence on June 23rd around 2:30 p.m. Cell phone records indicated that she tried to call her therapist about 3:27 p.m. and then later that evening, she texted her therapist and wrote she ran away from home. Since then, no one has heard from her, according to her mother. Hmm. Okay. Even though it may look on the surface that the child left their home under their own power, under their own 2 feet, they may have left under false pretense. Joan Bischoff, vice president of the Center of Missing Children Division, said, which I agree. This young lady is described as a black female who stands 5 feet 3 inches tall and weighs 130 pounds. She has brown eyes and black hair. Anyone with any information or any whereabouts is urgent to contact Milwaukee at PD 414-933-4444 or the National Center for Missing Children's hotline at 1-800 The Lost, 1-800-843-5678. So I have a few issues wrong with it that I see wrong with this. Okay. They're not consider her as missing. They're considering her as a runaway because she wrote the therapy. And I'm just finding this out because she texts her therapist. That kind of shocked me. I didn't know nothing in there because I'm new to this case. Because she texts her therapist. She could have been forced to do that under somebody else's hands, under somebody else's thumb, somebody else's rules. And another thing is age 11, they don't seem that is a physical and mental typical reserve to look for her. Shh. At age 15, I mean. So it's age 11 and under. She's 15 though. Physically, mentally disabled or drug dependent. Are you kidding me? Come on. So for you guys, cops to take this serious, this girl got to be high out her mind or mental or so to the highest bidder. Because sometimes that's not even good enough for the cops. I just finished watching a movie where a white young girl on her 16th birthday was sold to sex traffickers. And she was a white little girl with blonde hair. And the cops still did not take her parents serious. They said, oh, she's probably with the boyfriend and she's probably hanging out and this and this and that. Let me tell you something. It got me thinking, we're saying, you know what? I know I had people say to me, why are you always covering a lot of white people cases? Fuck you. I'm going to cover any damn case I feel like covering because I don't see color, okay? I see kids missing, black, white, Chinese, Puerto Rican, black, your kid, my kid, her kid, his kid. I cover any cases. Just because the police gets it twisted and see color, why do we have to take that out on the victims and say, you know what, white little girl, you don't matter to us today. We just gonna cover some black folks today and push her on the side. Or why do we just say, hey, black little girl, you just don't matter today because police seems to just cover your case. So I'm just gonna cover the white little girl's case and make the victim suffer and not spread awareness for her. Come on, stop thinking sick shit. If you're serious about spreading awareness, spread awareness. Now this little girl is missing. And she is 15 years old. Let me pull up her picture so y'all can see this beautiful angel. I'm gonna move my picture so you can see her. Beautiful. Now we're gonna go to a podcast that Black and Missing had did. And I want y'all to listen to her mother talk about her daughter and what the police did to her when she told them like something. First of all, a mother always feel that they know their child, they know when something's not right. So don't dismiss me. If I say something's not right, something's not right. Like I was watching a movie and the mother was saying to the cop, like, my daughter, no, she don't usually do this. Oh, well, teenage do that. Well, not my daughter. And she's trying to tell the cop, like, no, not my daughter. And he trying to tell her, give it to 72 or 24 hours. I'm like, oh, hell no. We done talked about it on my side. We do not do that. We do not wait 24 hours. Stop doing that. And for another thing, get an investigator, people. Because after me watching that trafficking movie, that family had to get a private investigator. And they was the ones that solved the damn case and got her daughter back. You're not, and I hate to say this, but the cops ain't gonna fucking help you. That's just bottom line. I don't care if you're black, white, Chinese, African. You're not gonna get the fucking help you need. Get a private investigator. I just made my mind straight up when I saw that movie today. I was like, I'm gonna tell, get a private investigator, y'all. Fuck the police. You're not gonna get the help you need. And I do not never say that on my channel. God, fuck the police. Allegedly. You're not gonna get the help you need. Get a private investigator. Now let's get into this.
I went to the police station. I'm like, listen, my daughter, my child is missing. I can't find her. They was like, well, she's not a child. She's a teenager, just telling me not to worry or whatever. But I'm telling them, like, I know something's wrong.
What stands out to me regarding Joniah's case is that it wasn't taken seriously at the onset.
It was alarming. 65% of the open cases were teenagers, and most of them were between 13 and 17, so children.
Her mother believes, and we believe, that someone she met online lured her out of the home.
They couldn't list her as critically missing because everything to help me find my daughter, they said that she didn't qualify for any of the statuses.
This is Untold Stories, Black and Missing, a podcast that tells the stories of missing people of color, how their cases fell through the cracks, and how we can raise awareness to bring these people back home. Help us, find us. I'm your host, Joyce Sutton, and today we're going to tell the story of Joniah Walker, a teenage girl who went missing from Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the summer of 2022.
Joniah is, she's 16 now. Well, she's a 16-year-old young lady. She's 5'3", and when she left home, she weighed about 100 pounds, 101 pounds. So she was very tiny, very soft-spoken, very gentle, and she have a big smile. And she loves everyone.
Tanisha Howard, Joniah Walker's mother, says June 23rd, 2022, started out like any other day. Tanisha went to work, leaving 15-year-old Joniah behind to enjoy a lazy summer morning. She remembers Joniah texting her about a package that was supposed to have arrived in the mail the day before.
She was supposed to go with her dad that day. He was going to pick her up when he got off work at 3:30 because I was at work as well. Usually I will talk to her throughout the day, but I was just so busy. I didn't even think to call her on my lunch break. I usually will call her on my lunch break. She asked me about a package. She also asked me about some money I had cashed after her Sunday for some personal items. And she called me. She called me around 10:50, between 10:40 and 10:50 was the last time I spoke with her.
Joniah's dad called Tanisha confused because Joniah was not answering her phone.
And I called 3 times and I knew something was wrong, so I left work.
Was it like a gut feeling as a mom that you just knew?
Yes. I thought somebody had taken her, like in their car. That's what I originally assumed.
Tanisha spent
I wonder why she assumed that she thought that allegedly somebody had taken her in their car. I wonder why she thought that. Because I'm guessing that they didn't even look at cameras or anything yet. Now they did see on a scene on the Ring camera, her daughter looked like she was rushing off to meet, like she had her bag or something, like she was rushing off somewhere. Like she was probably going to meet maybe somebody pulled up in a car. I don't know. It's weird. I wonder why the mother felt like that.
the next few hours searching for her daughter. Calls to her phone went right to voicemail. No one else knew where she was. So Tanisha went to the police to report her daughter's disappearance. She knew time was of the essence. She hoped that getting law enforcement involved would help her find her daughter quickly. Unfortunately, she says the police didn't share her urgency.
I went to the police station. I'm like, listen, my child is missing. I can't find her. And they was like, well, she's not a child. She's a teenager, just telling me not to worry or whatever. But I'm telling them, like, I know something's wrong.
Tanisha's experience with the police isn't unusual. Many parents and guardians report that police tend to dismiss or downplay early reports of a missing teenager.
We know that at the onset, the Milwaukee Police Department classified her daughter as a runaway.
This is Derica Wilson, one of the co-founders of the Black and Missing Foundation. She's seen this exact situation many times. Police who don't take a missing person report seriously because they assume it must be a runaway who will come back soon.
We know that they did not list her as critical missing. And that designation with that police department simply means that that case will be assigned to the Sensitive Crimes Division, where they can get additional resources and media for this case. But they didn't see her as an endangered child. They saw her as a child who ran away and she left on her own free will.
And that's not uncommon when it comes to people of color, correct?
That is correct. When children of color are disappearing, law enforcement typically label their cases as runaways. And we all know that that classification does not meet the criteria for initiating an Amber Alert.
And see, that's the problem right there. Because if it was their kids, I'm pretty sure Amber Alerts would be out there and helicopters, dogs, and everything. Why is it, like I say again, it shouldn't be a color thing? This is a 15 years old little girl that is missing. And we know, officers, that we have traffickers and sex offenders out there. So why can't y'all help a little more? Not a little more, help, because y'all not helping at all, goddammit. Do something. Stop saying she ran away. Do something. You got to do better. Fuck. Damn police, man. What's wrong with them? Why did they get no views and clicks and views?
Missing Foundation co-founder Natalie Wilson says classifications directly impact media coverage.
Media coverage in missing persons cases is so vital, and it's vital for primarily two reasons. One, it alerts the community that someone is missing, so it can greater the chance of a recovery, but it also puts pressure on law enforcement to add resources to the case.
Kristen Pierce and her colleagues at WISN, a TV station in Milwaukee, started doing their own investigation as to why she wasn't listed as critically missing. They discovered that the Milwaukee Police Department lists missing persons as critically missing if they are younger than 11, have a medical issue that requires medication, or have mental health challenges.
And her mom said that she had been struggling with depression and PTSD, and she was seeing the therapist for that. So that, to me, seemed like the mental category in critical missing. So I did ask police about that, but her classification stayed the same. They replied back and just said she is not a critical missing, and it was just that cut and dry.
Tanisha was distraught. Her daughter was missing. The police weren't taking it seriously. She had no idea where to even begin looking. And then, at around 11 that night, she got her first clue as to what actually happened. Her apartment manager had found footage of her daughter leaving the building.
When she called me, that time she called me at 10:50, that was all on video because she was walking on the elevator. And so she was walking the dog and she called me, and that was in the morning time, and she was talking to me on the phone. That was all on camera. We couldn't figure out how did she leave the building. We saw her leave the building and come back in, but I didn't see her leave again. And then that's when we figured out that she had changed clothes and she was out of there. She left really fast.
The footage also showed Joniah leaving with a backpack Tanisha had never seen before. But even with the video, Tanisha still couldn't get the police to prioritize her daughter's disappearance. So that's when the Black and Missing Foundation stepped in.
We know that when people go missing, our strategy is really to help them make the news as well. And the more people who know about their disappearance or Joniah's disappearance can greater the chance of a recovery. We were able to tell Joniah's story on local and national platforms. And we were able to secure media coverage with local television news stations to alert the community of her disappearance. And on a national platform, her case was featured in Lifetime, in the documentary beyond the headlines, Black Girl Missing. And in that documentary, Joy, you were able to hear from her mother, Tanisha, about Joniah, what a sweet child she is. And she was also featured in USA Today, which is a national news organization. And lastly, in a multi city billboard campaign, we were able to partner with the Milwaukee Bucks to raise awareness of Joniah's disappearance. She was featured on the Bucks Forum, their billboard, which was viewed by thousands of people. So we continue to share her profile with the media and with social media to help find her because we've received some tips and we believe that we're getting closer to finding her.
That's why she sent me her story. Because I had seen the movie Black and Missing. And remember when we talked about it a little bit on my live, and the cover of the thumbnail was from the Black and Missing, and we did a live and we talked about other cases or whatever. And I did it. I put it on other platforms, and then I got this DM from Black and Missing of Joniah Walker, and I didn't. It just had her podcast, this right here, in my DM, and nothing else. And I said, interesting. Okay, makes sense. So she saw my story and she was letting me know, listen, this little girl is who we got to, it was her story. That is why I was on Black and Missing. And thank you for, wow, look how God works. But thank you for what you do as well, ma'am. We appreciate you too.
Tanisha, Joniah's mother, has a theory as to what may have happened to her. Over the last few years, she'd been observing Joniah, slowly, steadily migrating most of her social life to the internet. Where her daughter had once been interested in helping out around the house, she now spent most of her time online.
I knew she was lured away online. She was lured away online, and someone helped her get a backpack. I've never seen that backpack before.
If Tanisha is correct, Joniah is a victim of one of today's most common and dangerous culprits in a missing persons case. Every year, more and more teenagers are lured away from home by strangers they meet online, in chat rooms, or on popular gaming platforms.
1 in every 3 children that run away, they are solicited for sex. So human trafficking is a huge issue that's impacting our community. And so when these children are missing, they are endangered because oftentimes they have to go into survivor mode and they're preyed upon.
The strangers these children meet often seem nice, sometimes promising a better, more exciting life or a more understanding shoulder to cry on. But in the end, they are planning something far more sinister.
Her mother believes, and we believe, that someone she met online lured her out of the home. She doesn't know where she met them or how she met them, but we believe that she is a victim of sex trafficking. And also, Joniah suffered a lot of trauma at a very young age, so we know that she was very vulnerable. She's now 16 years old and she still has not returned home.
Then we actually ended up doing kind of like a longer form story that talked about how many teenagers were gone missing, because we noticed as a station, it seemed at least that we were getting so many emails about missing children. And some of them, thankfully have been found, but still the fact that they were going missing. So we ended up doing kind of a deep dive into the data from Milwaukee police from just missing persons cases. And we couldn't do 2023 at the time just because it takes a while to compile, the data, and we're not finished with 2023. So we looked at 2022, and what we found was it was alarming, because it was 65% of the open missing persons cases being teenagers. And so what we initially thought, just getting those notifications about children, we had to look at the data to maybe confirm or disprove what we thought, but it was alarming. 65% of the open cases were teenagers, and most of them were between 13 and 17, so children.
Experienced predators know how to target those vulnerabilities and exploit them. In Joniah's case, her phone was never again turned on, which meant police couldn't track her to ping it. She also left her iPad and her computer behind, but she'd somehow managed to encrypt all the files on them.
Well, in Joniah's disappearance, the person or persons responsible, who we believe is responsible, they are very tech savvy. We believe that Joniah was lured online, and whoever has her was assisting in covering their tracks. In addition to ordering items and sending them to her for her to disappear in the first place. So what stands out to me regarding Joniah's case is that it wasn't taken seriously at the onset. And part of the reason I believe that it was not taken seriously, because I think that a lot of police departments don't have the enhanced training that's needed to handle cases of missing persons. And
remember they said that Joniah was waiting for a package? Could have been that book bag and a couple of other things that man sent her, whoever sent her, so she could pack her stuff and run away with them, so we could, kidnap her in or whatever. Yeah, that's true. She was waiting for something online, somebody she met online. And she was waiting for that package. Damn.
human trafficking. So I think that precious time was neglected.
Tanisha was growing frantic. She was getting more and more frustrated with how little the police were doing to help her find Joniah, and those frustrations turned to deep anxiety. She spent the next few days in a near constant state of panic. She started exploring nearby forests, wondering if the camo pattern on Joniah's backpack meant she was planning on hiding in the woods. But no matter how hard she looked, nothing turned up. Her daughter was gone. Since talking to the police was feeling like a dead end, she turned her attention to a higher power, the FBI. How did the FBI end up getting involved?
It took a couple days because I had to keep calling to explain myself, and I couldn't really speak well because I was having really bad anxiety and I was angry. And so it took a couple days for someone on the FBI end to actually listen to me without me being angry. I had to really calm down because I was really angry because no one was helping me.
In September of 2022, Tanisha got an email from someone claiming to be Joniah. It said she was safe and to stop looking for her. The FBI couldn't trace the encrypted email, but there was something alarming Tanisha discovered: an unusual number on her daughter's phone bill.
I really believe someone here knows something because it was a man, a phone number on her phone log, and that person wasn't cooperating with the police. Why wouldn't you cooperate with the police if you had nothing to do with anything? And they changed their number.
It took 6 months for the Milwaukee Police Department to reclassify Joniah's case from runaway to critical missing. Once a person is listed as critical missing, valuable police resources are devoted to the case that can lead to more clues, more witnesses, and more opportunities to find out what happened. But the primary enemy in every missing persons case is time. The more that time passes, the colder the trail gets. And 6 months is a long time. That's why missing person advocates are working to change the system to make sure no other family has to wait as long as Tanisha did for police to give these cases the urgency they deserve before it's too late.
Now, Joniah's case is really a prime example of the urgent need for policies and procedures that really must be implemented to amplify, protect, and find those who are most vulnerable in our communities.
Since then, Tanisha has gotten some tips. Someone in Texas thought they saw Joniah at a Walmart in Texas. Someone else thought they'd found her in Wisconsin, about 40 minutes from home. Neither sighting turned out to be a match. But for Tanisha, even mistakes like these are good news. They're proof that people still care. They're still looking. And sooner or later, she hopes someone will find Joniah.
The Black and Missing Foundation, we have an anonymous tip line, and we ask anyone who has information about Joniah or any missing person to definitely log on or visit our website at bamfi.org or call our tip line and report whatever information you know. We will not compromise your identity, but we will definitely get that information into the right authorities' hand so that they can investigate.
She is a child and she's young. Joniah, she don't have any like real life experiences that would be normal. Like she never had a boyfriend, things of that nature.
I hope she makes it home to her mom. I hope that hurt in Tanisha's face goes away. I hope the pain in her voice vanishes. I hope Joniah makes it home.
And I hope Joniah makes it home too. Um, mm, please say a prayer for the family and share this video so that other content creators can do a story on this and spread awareness about Joniah, and we can get her name further out there. Because as you know, it's been too long, and now the police now want to help. 6 months down the road, it's over a year now. We in 2023, going in 2024. She's missing way too long. Too much time is passing. So please get this video out there. We want Joniah home safe. There is hope. We know there's hope. Whoever that young man is, you didn't want to cooperate with the police. You fucking coward. Please don't take another young life or another young girl if you haven't done already. Whoever you are. And if you do have Joniah, give her back to her mother. Please. You don't have to do this and take children. Why? Why? Yeah, please share this please share this video. Also, please hit the like button. I will appreciate that. And let's get Joniah's name out there. Let's spread some awareness. Everyone, please have a safe, and thoughtful, blessed Thursday night. It's your girl Brooklyn. Real life crimes, real life drama. I'm out of here.